Yo, what is going on, guys? This is Wormpal, the coach of the Stavanger Vikingvolts, and welcome back to week 6 of the Universal Draft Network season 1. This week we are playing against Edgar or L Edgar 28, aka Smiley Munoz, who is the coach of the San Jose Scissors. Please go check out his YouTube channel. You can find his link in the description of this video. He has done pretty well so far in the league. He lost his first 2 battles, but then he won 3 games in a row. So we are both on a 3-win streak now. So we both really want to win this battle, I guess. And one of our streaks will get broken after this game. Yeah, you can see his team over on the right side of the screen. He has a Zygarde, Mammothwine, Darmanitan, Jolteon, Rhyperior, Kangaskhan, Megascizor, Tapu Fini, Lurantis, Golisopod, and Gengar. Really scary team with a very nice core of Tapu Fini, Scizor, and Mega Zygarde. And I actually don't like my matchup this week because he has pretty decent switchings to my Mega Diancie. Stuff like Tapu Fini and Megascizor can switch in decently well, and yeah, he just has so many really scary wall breakers like Mammothwine, Darmanitan, Zygarde 50%, and Megascizor can easily set up and sweep me if I'm not careful. So yeah, and I also don't think my Salamence has that good matchup because he has Tapu Fini with Misty Terrain and Mammothwine with Ice Shard. Both of those just completely shut down my Salamence, so I can't get any sweep or something like that. But first mono we are bringing is Starmie. This has pretty good matchup against this team. This Starmie outspeeds almost everything on his team. It's only outsped by Jolteon and Gengar. I could speed creep Gengar if I wanted to, but I decided not to because I have another Pokemon on my team that deals with Gengar very well. And Jolteon I can't outspeed anyways, but I have pretty good switch-ins for the Jolteon. So Starmie can put in a lot of work this match, I think. Life Orb Analytic, it's super hard, moves Ice Beam, Thunderbolt, Surf, and Protect. You probably notice this time I'm running Surf instead of Hydro Pump, because we have missed so many Hydro Pumps this season. I'm not gonna use that move anymore for the rest of the season. I'm just gonna use Surf and Scald, I think. Yeah, Ice Beam is there for his Zygarde. Thunderbolt hits the Tapu Fini and the Golisopod, and Surf hits pretty much everything else. I'm not running Psychic because the only thing it really lets me hit is the Gengar, and I already said I have another mon that deals very well with Gengar, so I don't need Psychic. And then last move I put on Protect for 2 reasons again. One, scout for choice scarves from stuff like Darmanitan and maybe Mammothwine, I don't know. And it also lets me protect myself from first impression from his Golisopod. And then I can easily Thunderbolt and put him in range for his emergency exit the turn after. So yeah, that's Starmie. Next up we have Rotom Heat. I believe this was the last Pokemon I put on the team, so I'm probably talking about this in a pretty bad order, but anyways, he has so many wall breakers on his team, like I said before, but most of them are physical. His only good special attackers are Jolteon and Gengar and maybe Tapu Fini. For the 5 first mons I put on the team, I didn't really have anything that could take hits from both Darmanitan and Mammothwine, or they couldn't take hits from any of them. And Rotom Heat was kind of the only thing on my team that could take hits from both of them. I mean, Seismitoad can take hits from Darmanitan pretty well, but it cannot take any hits from Mammothwine, and Uxie can take hits from Mammothwine, but it cannot take hits from Darmanitan. so I kinda had to go Rotom Heat because it's like the only thing that can take hits from both of them. I put on a Charty Berry because it allows me to live a Stone Edge from his Mamoswine and a Stone Edge or Rock Slide from Darmanitan. Both of those give access to Rock type moves, so I think Charty Berry could be pretty useful. I of course have max HP and max defense, and for the moves I put on Overheat, Will-O-Wisp, Pain Split, and Volt Switch. I can Overheat or Will-O-Wisp the Mamoswine if I switch into that, and against Darmanitan I can get off a slow Volt Switch, which will still do quite a lot of damage. And I put on Pain Split as last move just to have a little bit of recovery since I'm not running leftovers. And next up we have Tangrowth. This is my main check to his Zygarde. You all know how dangerous Zygarde is, but I have a very bulky grass type and has so good natural physical defense, so it can take 1,000 arrows for days. I am actually not running Hidden Power Ice, even though this is my check to Zygarde, because I just really needed the Hidden Power Fire to not let Mega Scizor switch into my Tangrowth every single time. But I can still hit Zygarde very hard with Grass Knot, which should always be a 3-hit KO because it has base 120 power when used on Zygarde. And then I also have Giga Drain so that I can still hit light Pokemon like Tapu Fini, which would take very little from Grass Knot. And for the last move I put on Earthquake so I can hit Darmanitan and Jolteon if they want to switch in. And then I also have max special defense with an Assault Vest to better take hits from stuff like his Jolteon and Tapu Fini, and can also take special hits from Zygarde if he's running something like a Sludge Wave. I don't know, maybe. And next up we have Magneto. He has a Mega Scizor on his team, which is one of the biggest threats to Mega Diancie in that entire game. So Magnezone is of course a very good counter to his Mega Scizor because it can trap it with Magnet Pull and deal Trap Ton with Hidden Power Fire. A few weeks ago when I played against regular Scizor, I had a Choice Scarf to make sure I outspeed it so that it cannot outspeed and superpower me or U-turn out. But this time I'm running Life Orb because I remember Edgar saying something about that after he started using Mega Scizor as a bulky pivot, that's when he started winning a lot of his games, so I'm pretty confident that he will bring a slow, bulky Scizor. So that's why I'm not running that much speed and instead have Life Orb and Modest Nature. And for my last moves I have Flash Cannon, Thunderbolt and Tri-Attack. Flash Cannon, Thunderbolt for stab, Tri-Attack just to have something to hit his Jolteon. Normally when my opponent has a mon like Mega Scizor, I would instantly put on Magnezone, but this week it's not actually that useful because my opponent has 3 ground types and 1 mon with Volt Absorb, so Magnezone really isn't that good for anything else than trapping the Mega Scizor. Next up we have Skuntank. This thing really only has one job, which is to just delete his Gengar. He can switch into it every single time, take any hit from it, because I have Assault Vest and max HP. A really good typing versus Gengar. This is both of its stab attacks, and Gengar doesn't get access to any ground type moves, so he can't really do anything to my Skuntank, and I can just one-shot him with Pursuit if he tries to switch out, or if I'm predicting him to stay in, I can instead go for a Sucker Punch, so I won't take any damage at all. Then I also have Poison Jab, which hits his Tapu Fini, and Flamethrower, which hits Mega Scizor. There isn't much else to say about Skuntank. So last one on the team. Mega Dynasty, even though I said earlier that he has pretty decent switchings to Mega Dynasty, his monster like Tapu Fini doesn't resist any of my attacks, so he can't switch in on my Dynasty forever, because he doesn't get any recovery moves either. So I can spam Moonblast and Diamond Storm pretty freely against him, and also have Hidden Power Fire in case I predict him to switch into his Mega Scizor, which will take a lot from my Hidden Power Fire. Then last move, Stealth Rock. If I predict him to switch maybe, and Hazard, Stealth Rock is pretty useful against stuff like Darmanitan, which will take a lot every time it switches in. So yeah, that's the team. The 6 months I predicted him to bring, I believe, were Zygarde 50%, Mega Scizor, Tapu Fini, Mamoswine, Darmanitan, and maybe Jolteon, just to have something that outspeeds my entire team. But let's jump into the battle and see what he brought. Okay, we are back, and as you can see on the other side of the screen, Edgar decided to bring Mega Scizor, Lurantis, Tapu Fini, Mamoswine, Zygarde, and Rhyperior. Pretty similar to what I expected, but he did not bring Darmanitan, which I'm really happy about. I can understand why he didn't bring it, because I have a lot of fast fire resists like Mega Diancie, Starmie, Salamence with Intimidate, and they can all outspeed it if it's not scarfed and deal a lot of damage to it or just kill it. So I understand why he didn't bring it, but I'm still very happy to not see it, because that thing hits my team like a truck. And he also didn't bring Gengar or Jolteon, which means that both my Mega Diancie and my Starmie outspeed everything on his team. So therefore something will very likely be Choice Scarfed, just so he has something to outspeed me. And the only thing on his team that makes sense to be scarfed is his Mamoswine, so I could see him bringing that. And oh yeah, instead of Jolteon and Darmanitan, he brought Lurantis and Rhyperior. I didn't prep too much for any of those, but they are pretty low tier, so I'm not that worried about them. And I definitely do have answers for both of them. But for leads, I thought that Starmie would be a pretty good lead, because it deals pretty well with a lot of his common leads, like Rhyperior to set up rocks. That of course gets hit very hard by my water type attacks. And Tapu Fini could also be a pretty common lead to like set up terrain or something. And I do have Thunderbolt to hit that, so I thought Starmie would be a pretty good lead. As you see, he does lead with his Lurantis, which is pretty bad for me, because you know it's a grass type, and I do have Protect on this thing, so I clicked that just to check what move he would go for. He went for a Leaf Storm, and I of course don't want to take that, so I switch into my Rotom Heat. I probably should have just went into my Skuntank, since he did not bring Gengar. Skuntank is not nearly as useful as it would have been. And it is also a Assault Vest, so it would have taken the hit even better than Rotom Heat did. So that was a little misplay by me. And here I really predicted him to switch out, because you know Overheat is going to do a ton of damage to this Lurantis, and he has pretty good fire resists on his team, so I saw no reason for him not to switch out. But he stays in and clicks Hidden Power Rock. That does pop my Sharky Berry. Next turn I also thought he would switch out, so I clicked Pain Split. But he stays in again and goes for another Hidden Power Rock. The Pain Split wasn't that bad though, because it did allow my my Rotom Heat to live another Hidden Power Rock. And if I just clicked Overheat, I would have died to that Hidden Power Rock there. This turn I do click Overheat, since it looked like he is insisting to stay in. and he shows that he has an Ockerberry, which was a very nice bring for him, because it allows him to synthesis up next turn, and now that I am at -2 special attack, I cannot one-shot him, and he can easily just synthesis again. So I kind of just have to volt switch into my Scun tank here. So that was just a terrible series of turns for me. I lost my Rotom. I lost 80% of health on my Rotom for nothing, just to get a burn on his Lurantis when I could have just gone Scun tank right away. So I played very bad those first few turns. This next turn I do click Poison Jab, deal a lot of damage to him. That's an easy 2-shot. He clicks Leaf Storm, sees that I am Assault Vest, so I take that pretty well. Next turn he's just gonna stay in with his Lurantis and sack it, since at 13% it can't really do much against anything, and everything on my team outspeeds it. The next turn he goes into his Tapu Fini, which was a little weird to me because, you know, it's a fairy type, I'm a poison type, but I figured that he most likely sent in this to get up the terrain and then next turn switch into something like his Zygarde to not have to worry about status conditions, like a poison jab from my, a poison from my poison jab. So I switched out into my Starmie here, predicting that. He goes out into his Rhyperior, which is just as good for me. So he goes back into his Tapu Fini, which still takes a decent bit from my Surf, because I have Life Orb. I click Thunderbolt, hoping that I could 2-shot him, but it puts him in range for his Mago Berry, which means that he can live another one, and he has Grass Knot, which will do a lot of damage to me, and I don't want to lose my Starmie yet, so I switch out here into my Tangrowth, which is especially defensive and Assault Vest, so it takes any hit from this Tapu Fini very well. He goes Mega Scizor here, I do predict that, and click Hidden Power Fire, get off a lot of damage to the Scizor, so that was another very nice play by me. And here I of course don't want to take the U-turn, so I kind of just sent in my Rotom Heat to just sacrifice it. But he clicks U-turn and reveals that he is not very invested in attack, so I do leave it, and he sends in his Rhyperior here, which was also pretty weird to me. Or not that he sent in Rhyperior was weird, but what he did the following turns. I of course click Pain Split here, get a lot of health back, and still deal very much damage to him, almost take him down to 50%. And he just sets up Stealth Rocks instead of trying to kill me. Next turn I do get a Will-O-Wisp off, so that he cannot kill me with anything, not even a Stone Edge or anything like that. He clicks Dragon Tail. He does miss. Next turn I just overheat, because I don't want to take too much Stealth Rock damage and Dragon Tail damage. I just wanted to let him switch me out, kinda. He sends in my Tangrowth, and I do outspeed it, so I'm able to get off an easy kill with Giga Drain. So it was actually a pretty good start to the game for me. He sends in his Mamoswine here. I do not want to take the Icicle Crash if he is Choice Banded or Life Orb, which I do believe both of those items would kill me with an Icicle Crash. So I switch into my Rotom Heat here again to maybe just sack it, since it didn't do that much against him anymore. But he clicks Knockoff, which I can understand why he did. He probably predicted my Starmie to come in to take the Icicle Crash, and since that only did 18%, that shows to me that he is not Choice Banded, and he did not reveal Life Orb, so that makes me think that he is very likely Choice Scarfed, like I thought at the start. So he cannot kill me with another knockoff here, so he has to switch out. But I remember I thought for a long time at this move. I didn't know if he would switch into his Tapu Fini or his Zygarde. if he was predicting a Will-O-Wisp from me, he would switch into his Tapu Fini to set up Misty Terrain, or if he was predicting a Volt Switch, he would probably send in his Zygarde. So I did end up clicking the Pain Split, I believe, which was kind of middle ground play, decent against both, but thinking about it again, he didn't really have any reason not to go Tapu Fini, so I probably should have clicked Volt Switch there, but it's fine. He doubles out here into his Zygarde, which was actually a very good play by him, because now I can't Will-O-Wisp him, so he can set up pretty much for free. But I do still have my Tangrowth at full health, so I'm not that worried about his Zygarde setting up. And he has Misty Terrain up, so his Dragon type moves won't be doing anything. But he reveals Sludge Wave, which was a pretty interesting bring, but since I am specially defensive and have an Assault Vest, that's not going to do anything. And I'm able to do a lot in return to him with a Grass Knot. And his Zygarde set, he didn't reveal it later in the match, but I talked with him after we played this match, and he said that he brought a very cool Zygarde set with Dragon Dance, 1000 Arrows, Sludge Wave and Grass Knot. So a pretty specially offensive Zygarde. And he was also weakness policy, so he was probably predicting me to have like a Hidden Power Ice, and he could live that, get a lot of special attack boosts, probably do a lot to me with Sludge Wave. So that was a very interesting set bring by him, but didn't work out because I had such a specially defensive Tangrowth. So I really would have liked to seen that set put in some work, so kind of regret bringing this Tangrowth set, but oh well. He goes into his Mega Scizor here, realizing that his Zygarde can't really do anything to my Tangrowth. Here again I sent in my Rotom Heat just to sack it, but clicks U-turn again. I do live, sends in Zygarde, but now that I'm at 8%, I can't switch in on rocks again, so I have no reason not to just sack it here and get a free switch into my Starmie. I probably should have gone Mega Diancie here, but I thought that he could probably switch into Mega Scizor then, but I don't really remember why I did this, but yeah. He switches in his Tapu Fini and takes the Surf, but since he's so low on health, I do kill him with another Surf. But unfortunately I do go down to my own Life Orb recoil, so that was pretty unfortunate, and that's why I thought that I probably should have gone Mega Diancie there instead. He sends in his Mamoswine, I go Skuntank. Since both Lurantis and Tapu Fini are already down, I really don't have any use for Skuntank anymore, so I thought I could just sack it here, get off a little bit of damage with Sucker Punch, and then get a free switch into whatever I wanted to. That Sucker Punch did put his Mamoswine in range for Moonblast from my Mega Diancie, so that was pretty good. That's why I'm sending in this here. And here he switched out into his Zygarde just to sacrifice it, since it didn't really do much to my team, and Mamoswine was still very useful for him. And here, I believe, is when I start misplaying a lot. He sends in his Mega Scizor, of course, to Bullet Punch me, so I switch into my Magnet Zone to take that hit. I do take that very well. Here I thought that I would outspeed him, since he had no attack investment. He would probably be pretty slow, so I thought I could outspeed him here and kill him with Hidden Power Fire, but he shows that he is faster than me and able to U-turn out into his Mamoswine. So that was just very bad prep by me. If I had been Choice Scarf there, I would have just won the game. But he goes into his Mamoswine. he's obviously gonna Earthquake here, so I switched into my Tangrowth, which was a misplay again, I think. He's able to get off another Earthquake before I kill him with Hidden Power Fire, just in case he switched back into his Mega Scizor. I still thought that I would win this game, but he's able to kill me with U-turn, and here I thought I could just go into my Magnezone, live any hit, and click Hidden Power Fire to kill him, but he shows that he has Superpower, which does kill my Magnezone, and he is able to kill my Mega Diancie with a Bullet Punch. So yeah, GG to Edgar. We get a 1-0 loss against the San Jose Scissors and their mascot Mega Scizor. So that was that was a pretty good game actually. I had a lot of fun playing that game, but I played really bad at the end there. I think I could have won the game in many different ways, but the easiest was probably when he sent in his Mamoswine. Mamoswine against my Magnezone. Probably should have just sacked Magnezone to his Earthquake, then gone into my Tangrowth and killed him, and then I would only needed to have. Then I only would have needed to take one Earthquake, which I believe wouldn't have put me in range for his U-turn. So I could have just killed him with. I could have killed his Mega Scizor with a Hidden Power Fire. So that was pretty poorly played by me. But still, the rest of the match was very fun. I think both me and Edgar brought some really cool sets, and I played my best, so I'm happy with that. But yeah, that 1-0 loss puts us at 4 wins and 2 losses with a +7 differential. But U-turned, the guy we beat in week 3, won 3 games in a row after our match against him. So he passed us, and he is now first in our division, and we dropped down to 2nd place. But I'm still pretty sure that I will make playoffs if I keep playing like this. But yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. Next week we are playing against Jazz, so I hope you're looking forward to that also. But until next time, goodbye.